Hello everybody, welcome to the Labyrinth of Limitations. This is another Little Labyrinth, episode 14 of the Little Labyrinths, and we're going to continue talking about the guitar as a musical abacus. And real quick, why are we doing this? I think the idea is if you find this to be a very easy way of doing a 2-5 because you can just move your hand up and not think. Imagine making everything feel that way, where your hand is just moving and you don't necessarily have to think, and then you can get yourself time to think of something else to do. That's the idea to me, is just finding this freedom of exploration. And also it's a wonderful way to find kind of movements and sounds that I haven't done before. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at major sixes. We looked at minor sixes before and we did descending motion, because that'll get us from a 2 to the tritones minor. Right? So in other words, the 6 in the bass, what I mean by descending motion is that interscalar transposition. 6 in the bass, now it'll be the 5th in the bass. So 2, 5. And we talked in the last episode about as I go around the family, I can just think of my bass note, and I know if I go to the 5, so from 6 to the 5 when descending, that is higher. But then if I were to go from the 5 to the 3 in the bass, my bass goes back down, so from here to here, and then if it were 3 to 1, so everything is, I would call it low, and then the 5 is high on the minor sixes. Now on the major sixes, if I go around the family of major sixes, the 5 is high, but also the 3 is high. So you have like the 6 and the 1 on one level, and the 3 and the 5 on another level, or one fret and another fret. So in other words, I'm starting with here I'll just go middle of the fingerboard on a D major 6 chord, and now I can go in either direction, but I'll go down for starters. So 1 in the bass, so now 6 in the bass, but now 5 in the bass. Notice I moved up 1 fret, and then also for 3, I'm doing what, drop 3s right now. So that was so I could do for, feels like everybody's more comfortable with drop 2s. So that is the 1 in the bass, and I'm going to put the 6 in the bass. So 1 to 6, but then I'm going to go to 5 and then 3, like that, as a circle. And I can go in the opposite direction, meaning if I have the root, now I'm going to have the 3rd. If I have the 3rd, I'm going to have the 5th, and the 6th. Let's practice that. So here's drop 2s, root. I'm going to put the 3rd in the bass, so I have to go up because the 3rd is high. And I'm going to stay, 5th is high, and then 6 is low. So now I'm going around. So let's put that into progressions and look at some transformations using this kind of method. So doing a 2-5, where I'm going to go from the 2 chord, that is going to be a minor 7th, to a 5 chord playing the 6 on the 5, instead of going down interscalar transposition. So in other words, instead of going from scale degree 6 in the bass, or the 6th of the chord in the bass to the 5th of the chord in the bass, I'm going to go up. So if I had the 6th in the chord in the bass, I'm going to go up to the root in the bass. And I have to go from major to minor to do the 6 on the 5, because the 6 on the 5 is a minor 6. That means that, so if I were going from the 6, this is a major 6 with the 6 in the bass, and now I'm going to go up. So I'm going to go to root in the bass, and I'm just going to stay on the same fret here, and there it is. Well, I'll do that same thing. Now I have a root position, major 6, and I'm going to go up to a 3rd in the bass, but it's going to be minor, so I'm going to stay on the same fret, because I'm not going to another major 6, I'm going to a minor 6, so my 3 is not high. So what I ask myself is what am I going to, or where I'm at for deciding the bass. So 3 is not high. Okay, so now I'm going to have 3, major 6, a 3, and now I'm going to go to the 5, and the 5 is high, just like the 3, because I'm coming from a major 6, so I have the high 3, and I'm going to the high 5. High 5. And now I'm going to go from the high 5, so this is a major 6 with a 5th in the bass. I'm going to go up to the 6th in the bass. I'm going to have to move to this note, and so it's like this. Okay, so that is doing a 2. Sorry, I keep doing drop 3s, but I'll do it in drop 2s. So here is a major 6 with the 1 in the bass. I'm going to go up to having the 3 but it's going to be minor, so I have a low 3 because I'm going to a minor 6. So that's my 6 and the 5 right there. 2 and 6 and the 5. Now I will start from a major, so this is now my 2, because this is a major 6 with the 3rd in the bass. And now I'm going to put the 5th in the bass, and I just stay right on this fret because it's the high 3 and 5th in the bass, like that. So I go, and now I'm going to have 5th in the bass, and I'm going to have to move down 1 fret to put the 6 in the bass, like that. And now I have the 6 in the bass, and now I'm going to stay on this fret, and it's going to be major 6, of course. And then I go, sorry, I should stay on the same type of voicing. So 6 in the bass, and then 1 like that, minor 6. Now to resolve, I continue up the cycle. So if I had the 6 in the bass for my 2, I'm going to go to the 1 in the bass, and then I'm going to go up to the 3 in the bass, except for everything has to be shifted up 1 fret. Okay? So that means, here I'll do that. 6 in the bass with a drop 2, and I'm going to go to 1 in the bass, but now I'm going to go to 3rd in the bass. I'm going to go to a major 6, because I'm going to resolve to a major chord. So this is the 1 in the bass, so again I had, to back it up, 6 in the bass, 1 in the bass. Now it's going to go to a 3, which would normally have to go up to a high 3, but then I'm going to go up 1 more fret, and there I go. Now, I'll do that again, right, same place. So I'll do, that was 6, so 3. Okay, so what about instead of starting on 6, I'll start on 1. So this was 6, so now I have, so this is 1 in the bass. That's all I mean by saying 1. The root is in the bass. Now I'm going to go up, interscalar transposition, 3rd in the bass. Minor 6 chord means I stay right on this fret, and I go, and then I'm going to go up to 5th in the bass, which means I have to go to the high 5 and scoot it up 1 fret. Okay, so that's what I did. I did. So what did I start with? I started with this, and then. Okay, so that goes around the circle. If I were to start on now, I'll start on 3. Whoops. I'll be right here. So this is 3 in the bass, and I'm going to go to 5 in the bass, and this is a high 3. I'm going to a high 5, and I'm going to go to 6 in the bass. I'm going to have to move down, but then I'm going to, and this should be major 6, and I'm going to move up 1 fret. And there we go. Now, and that continues on. So if I started, I just have to remember where the high notes and where the low notes are. 3 and 5 on a major, just 5 on a minor. Now, let's say I want to do this. So this is my 2. So 1 in the bass. I'm going to go to 3 in the bass. So 1 in the bass to 3 in the bass. I stay right there because I'm going to minor 6. And now I'm going to resolve by going to 5 in the bass, which is high, and then I go up 1 more. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this chord, this 1 chord, is going to now become a 2 chord. And to make it a 2 chord, so the 5th is in the bass. Now I'm going to go down interscalar. Instead of 5th in the bass, 3rd is in the bass. So check it out. Now I'm going to go, and I'm going to go major to major. This is major 6. I'm going to go to a major 6 because I want to make it a 2 that is a minor 7, meaning it's a major 6. So I'm going to stay in the family, and all I had to do was that. Keep on the same bass note, 5 to 3. So now I got 3. Now I'm going to change directions, go up, and when I do that, so now I'm on the 3. I'm going to go up to the 5. So that means I stay right here, and then 5 goes up to 6, which would normally go down, but because everything shifts up when I resolve to a 1, I go up from that, putting me right back where I started, and I will do a 6. And then 6, I'm going to go down to a 5 to make this 1 chord into a 2 chord. 6 goes down to a 5 in the bass in the same family with the major 6, meaning the 5 is high. So, you see what I'm saying? So I do an exercise, I like to do this, and I kind of sing or talk over it to help me think, because this is this is new to me too. I'm exploring this with you guys, and I think it's fascinating. So here I am. I've been enjoying doing drop 3s. So here it is, root position. in the bass. This is my 2 chord. Okay? So 1 in the bass, and then 3, and then I'm going to go to 5, and that would be up and up. 5, and then I'm going to go to 3 in the same family. So that's 3, and then 5, and then I go up to 6. And so what that would be is right in this position. 6. And I'm going to go down to make this into a 2 chord. So 6 in the same family. That's the 5 in the bass. 5, and then I'm going to go to 6. I had to go down to my bass to go to the 6. And then 6, and I'm going to resolve upwards to 1, meaning I would stay on the same fret, but I'm going to go up 1 fret because everything shifts up to resolve. 6, and then 1. Now I'm going to go down to 6 in the bass. So that looks like, whoops, major 6, 6, and then that's the 1 in the bass for the 5 chord, and then I have to resolve from 1 to 3. So 1, that would be up and up. So that's an exercise you can that kind of thinking to just transfer through, remembering where we are. And there's more to be done. I'll do in the next episode. We'll talk about choosing between going to the 6 and the 5 and the tritones minor. But so I hope that that's made it clear. And in the big labyrinth, I will have diagrams that I'm working on now and that I'm sharing on my Patreon. And but the idea is, if you are on a 2 chord that you're calling in a major key, 2 minor 7th, well, that is a major 6. And what you're going to do with that major 6 to move it to the 5 is you're going to do an interscalar transposition upwards. If the 6 in the bass, now you got the 1 in the bass, all right? But now it's a minor 6, all right? So 1 and 6, those are on the same fret. And there I am. Now I'm going to resolve by putting the 3 in the bass. But it's going to be a major 6, so that's going to be a high 3, so that would be up 1 fret. Then I would go up 1 more to resolve, making it 2 frets higher than my previous bass. So see, if I had, this was by 5, I was grabbing a random, I'm not even caring about what this is the 6 and the 5 of right now, but this is a root in the bass, and I'm going to go up to the, and that's how I would resolve to 1. Now notice I'm not doing a lot of movement on these right now. I'm just trying to orient my mind to understanding this. So I'm just arpeggiating on a single static sound. But the goal is to create movement and to just kind of use this to understand the lay of the land more. So I hope that this has been helpful. So now we have 2 sets of rules. Minor keys, we tend to go down by minor thirds. The 2, what I mean by that is interscalar transposition down. If I'm on a minor 6 for my 2, making it a half diminished 7th. Minor 6 for my 2, and I'm in 6 in the bass. My 5 will probably have the 5th in the bass to do the tritones minor. And then I will continue with that motion downwards to put the 3rd in the bass for a minor 6 chord that I resolve to, maybe a major 6, but I have to shove that up a fret. So that means I would go down from 5 to 3 because 5 is high, but instead I will go down and then come back up so I stay in place and do that. That's for minor keys. And for major keys, I do the opposite direction. So I'm on a major 6, expressing a minor 7th 2 chord. And if I say have the 3rd in the bass, now I will have the 5th in the bass, major 6 here, and minor 6 there, meaning this is a high 3. So the 5 would be high, but I stay on the same fret because the 3 is already high for my major 6. Major 6 to minor 6 on the 5th, with the 5th in the bass, and then to resolve, I'm going to continue in that same direction going upwards. So now instead of the 5th, it's going to be the 6th, and that would normally be lower than the 5th because the 5th is high and the 6th is not, but it'll be on the same fret because I have to shove everything up 1 fret to resolve. And that is major key 251 in just less than 15 minutes. I hope it's not too complicated, and there will be more to come. And I find it to be really interesting, again, looking at the guitar as an abacus, and if this is easy, then I think logically it makes sense that we can get used to these kind of motions and they become easy too, because it's just muscle memory that we're compositionally thinking with instead of having to think what chord am I playing over. And both are valid viewpoints. But we're isolating this part so that we get stronger at it. And I think that can help all our playing. And then it can be really fun for just exploring and finding kind of some new moves maybe that you might not find your normal way. So thanks so much, and there will be more to come. And keep on practicing.